governor is tightening the screws and saying that you guys got to be back tomorrow, or the layoff notices start going out. What's the plan at this point? What are you guys planning on doing?
Well, first of all, the governor is not being honest. We do not have to be back tomorrow, and the layoff notices do not have to go out tomorrow. The main reason being that everything he said this was about in the beginning was making sure that public employees pay their modest share, as he put it, their 5.5% toward retirement, 12.5% toward health care benefits. They have agreed to pay. So the governor has sitting right in front of him all of the money he needs from the public employees to balance his budget. So what he's doing is he's treating these employees like poker chips now, and he's up in the bet. He doesn't need to send out the layoff notices. He can take the deals that's been sitting in front of his nose now for about a week, and we can all come together and move forward.
And, John, what will it take for you guys to go back, and are you prepared to stay at this point, I guess, indefinitely?
Right. Well, it's our timeline is totally up to the governor. Again, the governor, Glenn, has had a proposal right in front of him that balances his budget, and he keeps on coming up with other excuses why we can't move forward, and every single excuse he's come up with has been totally discredited. He talked about having the collective bargaining needed to be outlawed in the state of Wisconsin because local governments needed it. Well, they have said to almost an official, we don't want it. Not only do we don't want it, we don't need it. So that was kind of debunked. And then he talked about the $165 million we're going to lose. In reality, the state owes a payment of $165 million on its debt in May, and what he's trying to do is refinance that deficit, that debt, not to get a better interest rate, but to kick the can down the road. And he wants to take that $165 million and use it in his budget, and that's going to cost us $30 million more later on. So it's not a matter of what it's going to take to get us back, because we've already been very clear that this is all about making sure the governor at least publicly acknowledges, which he hasn't even done yet, that the employees have given him all the money he's asked for. So it's not so much what he can say to us, it's more a matter of what he needs to say to the rest of Wisconsin, and he needs to be very honest with people, and he hasn't been.
You know, this has to be pretty darn uncomfortable being away from home, and I think he's probably sitting there thinking they can only do this for so long. How long are you guys prepared to stay down there?
Well, it's totally up to Governor Walker. I mean, we all want to be home. We didn't want to have to do this in the first place, and you know, as each day kind of ticked by, I don't know if it's 10 or 11 days now. We want to be home. We want to be with our families. We want to be back in our districts physically. I mean, you can only do so much by email and phone when it comes to constituent services. It's not like we want to be here, but at the same time, we feel we are right on this issue. The majority of the people in every single poll that I've seen wants the governor to take the compromise, and the polls I've seen say that the majority of the people do not want to see collective bargaining taken away, whether they like unions or not. Wisconsin's always been a very pro-worker, pro-union state. So, again, it's not up to us. We'd rather be home, but it's Governor Walker who's the one who's basically keeping us from coming home.
John, how unified are you guys? Because it only takes one guy peeling off and traveling up 94 to make this all go the governor's way.
Well, you're absolutely right. We talk, all 14 of us talk on the phone every day, or we meet in person just about every day. So we are very unified in what we're doing, especially when more and more people are showing up, not only in Madison, Glenn, but they're all over the state. People who have huge concerns about what he's trying to do with, and it's the collective bargaining. It's not just that; it's the Medicaid changes that are really angering a lot of us, and the fact that the governor wants to be able to rewrite on his own, without any legislative approval, who can and who can't be participating in Badger Care and senior care, and obviously the sale of our power plants, not to the highest bidder and not in the open, but the sale of our power plants to whoever Governor Walker wants to sell them to for whatever price he wants to sell them to, without any oversight from the legislature or the PSC, is really disgusting. So there are things in here other than collective bargaining that are alarming, but we can't even move past the collective bargaining issue simply because he won't admit publicly that the employees have agreed to every single financial concession he's asked for.
And what about these little tactics that they're undertaking today, like taking control of your staffers' timesheets and taking away your access code or their access codes to copying machines and things like that?
Well, I mean, obviously it's very petty. There's no doubt about that. My employees in the office they work for the people of the 27th Senate District, and there's work that still needs to be done, and they've been working really hard at it, almost around the clock and certainly over the weekends to try and make sure that things run as smoothly as they possibly can. So it's pretty petty. It doesn't solve the problem. I think if I'm Scott Fitzgerald, I would listen to people who have ideas as to how to bring consensus to the Senate on the issue of the budget repair bill, as opposed to listen to staffers coming up with ideas to get other staffers. It's really petty. And I also understand what's actually very disturbing is they're asking for IDs now for people who are entering the Capitol. They can't do that. Representative Kelda Royce refuses to show an ID. She's an elected member of the state assembly, and they won't let her in. She's tried 3 times. So they're really clamping down now at the Capitol. I wish they wouldn't. And those orders are coming from Governor Walker, and it's like he's looking to pick a fight. He's looking to pick a fight with thousands of people who showed up peacefully to let their voices be heard. So I kind of wish they'd back off of that stuff.
And one last question, John. You know, in the course of political wrangling, it seems like in most cases people can just come back together and you go about your business and life goes on. This one seems to be a little bit different. You know, can these fissures ever really get repaired? I mean, this runs deep or seems to run deep with people, and I just wonder how the business of the state can be conducted after this, no matter what happens.
You know what, Glenn? You're the only one who's brought this issue up. It's going to be difficult. There's no doubt about that, especially if the governor insists on moving forward and eliminating collective bargaining. You're talking about wounds so deep that it's going to take a long, long time to heal. And what's going on in the state Senate as far as holding on to our paychecks and telling our staff what to do and what not to do and what they can do and can't do is really frustrating. And those are the petty things that some senators will keep in the back of their mind the next time they're driving the bus. And so it's stuff like that that's going to make it hard to work together. But we have a responsibility, once this is all resolved, to work together and move forward as best as we can. But I guarantee you there's going to be some senators who will remember this.
Yeah, because those of us who've been around for a while knows what comes around goes around. Nothing ever stays the same. But I was just kind of wondering that on a personal level. You know, it just seems to me that this is not business as usual.
No, it's not business as usual. And the way I tend to let these things go once things are settled down because we have a job to do. We have to move on to other issues. There'll be some senators who won't let it go, and it will cause problems further on down the road. I know Senator Lozick, there's always been Senate protocol that if you're not in the building and you want to be part of the committee hearing that you're on, you can always phone in. She let me phone in, but she wouldn't let me vote. She wouldn't let me participate in the debate. When she's been sitting on a beach somewhere, and I've let her phone in before when I've been in charge of the committee and chairing the committee. So, but it's petty little things like that that's going to make it hard for some senators to move forward. But, whatever.